Okay, right, so let's bring that down to there. And let's wait for people to come in. While I make myself a cuppa. Right, so where are we? Oh, we've got Adrian. Now, two people in here at the moment. And first up is Newcastle United's amazing away win. Yeah. Something I wanted 3 points, and we got 3 points. Now, this live has 4 elements. First is Newcastle United currently sitting in 5th place in Premier League, and we won last night. 2 goals from Jacob Murphy and an incredible chip from Fabian Schär, which, let's be honest, nobody saw coming. So, right, so close that. Now, 5th place is a Champions League position. Yes, it is. However, I want 3rd. I said 3rd at the beginning of the season, so that's what I want. That will give Newcastle United basically an upgrade from when we finished 4th 2 seasons ago. Now, second half of the game last night could have been better. Could have been a heck of a lot better, but it wasn't. A rare outing of landscape mode. Okay. And how you doing, Limfish? So, yes, the game last night was attack, first half. I thought that what was going to happen was going to be goals and more goals. Didn't happen though. We kind of like took our foot off the accelerator, and because we did that, well, we kind of allowed Leicester back into the game. Though the game could have went on for 2 hours, and in honesty, I couldn't see Leicester scoring. Though was a bit of a twitchy bum moment come right at the end of the game, but it is what it is. Talk about the apps. This is boring. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm born and bred Geordie. We played last night, and I'm talking about four things. Four things which are very important. First of those, Newcastle United getting to third. Now, there was 10 games when we were going to play Brentford. Now, we've moved past that, so there's now 8 games. And the way we're playing, I think it's possible. Right, my friend is struggling with his coding. Can you say good luck on your codes to Owen Lonsdale? Well, Owen Lonsdale is on Instagram. Is that correct? Where I was doing a live the other day, and I was discussing what's coming next. But what I want for Newcastle United, well, we've already got the cup, and that's our first cup in 70 years. So that's in the bag. Cameo, never heard of it. Anyway, third, I believe Newcastle United can rise to third. That means winning games. Winning games in style, not giving supporters like what we had last night, second half. And I want to see more enthusiasm, more goals as well. Harvey getting on the score sheet. Jacob Murphy grabbing a few more, which, let's be honest, Jacob Murphy has done absolutely outstanding with contributions and goals as well. So that helps Alexander Isak. So all the burden is not on him. Now, 8 games left for us because we have the Crystal Palace game, which is a game in hand. Have to win and keep pushing. So what we got here? Yes, he's on Instagram and watches your content. Please wish him good luck. We love your videos. Thank you very much. You should lean into the... Well, I wish a lot of people would. Beer Viking. Paul, can you code yet? Well, The honest answer to your question, Beer Viking, is this. I was quite happily doing the parts of HTML5, which is right at the beginning of Web Development 3 with Udemy. However, some people turned around and said that AI, artificial intelligence, would be able to write more and faster than I could ever dream of. So I began to look down the road of artificial intelligence. And what happened was 3 new apps, because I asked a question and I asked it across multiple different places, and a couple of those places started writing code. It isn't perfect. No, it's not perfect. There is a lot of different languages, React, JavaScript. JavaScript I haven't even covered in the Web Development 3 course. Why? Because it is quite a way in the course from where HTML5 is. So I hope that answers your question. Are you returning to adult learning now you've realized AI can't do the work for you? Well, here's the thing, right? I mentioned this in the live I did on Instagram the other day. Learning to code is learning the keys on your keyboard that we just wouldn't use, right? And obviously, because of doing that, here's the thing, right? You have to learn. And I was doing that learning process, even though I was going at a snail's pace, crossing a football pitch, but I was still there. And when people turned around and said, "Oh, try this, try that, try the other," then I went off in different areas. I Bolt, Claude, Copilot, etc. I also learned limitations, i.e., Copilot, which is on GitHub, but it can't transfer information from where you are, like on Microsoft Edge, down to GitHub. Which, to me, that seems crazy. However, it is what it is. Right, what we got? Good afternoon, Ret 646. Good afternoon. When are you getting a bird? Well, yeah. Are you talking about the flappy kind, or are you talking about the human kind? There's 2 different types. So, yeah. But the one thing I want to say to you is this, right? Learning different languages, computer code languages, and the structure, yeah? It is hard. A woman, yay! A woman. Well, here's the thing, right? That would be amazing to have like a woman. Truly epic. Will it happen? Well, $64 billion question. Oh, you know. So, the language of love. Well, it would be if there was somebody else. Yeah, there would be. However, what I'm concentrating on is getting my subscribers for this YouTube channel higher, and 4 subjects. One we've already discussed, which is Newcastle United moving forward, and Streets of Home, the song, which became a game, that, and getting it built. So yeah, these apps are for 2025. That's what I said. That's what I meant. And because that's what I said and that's what I meant, then it needs help. As I was discussing this morning to Copilot, which has no memory recollection. That's a bit sad, because you type something up and it gives you lots and lots of content, but there is no memory of said conversation. And that is a sad part of life. You're focused in your career, that's understandable, lots of projects. You have a Sigma grind, pardon me, a Sigma grind set. Not even sure what that is. But one thing I will say is this. There is a lot of people who wish to help and to aid what I'm trying to do. It's just pulling everybody together and growing not just this channel, but Geordie Nation as well. And then www.seekingyou.org at the same time. Better to be Sigma than suffer from yeah, wow, love it. But the whole point of like what I'm trying to do is with the 3 apps is work. This is what I said to Work Coach, is to be able to sign off. Oh, right. So, well, yeah, I mean, grafting, right? Like when I used to do the buses years and years ago, that was a grind. It was a happy grind because get treats as people were getting off and meeting different people. I'm a people person, as a lot of people have spoken to when I'm travelling up to St James's Park. But I just wanted more. I wanted more out of life than just driving a bus. And well, Darren, that is, if you look at statistics, right? Just statistics for being a bus driver, it's a very, very high turnover. And that's the honest truth. Because the biggest company does not care. You don't matter. End of. And because of that, the other companies, you like Arriva, Go Northeast, well, if you look at everybody who drives for them, they've came from another company. And part of life. Have you thought about trying your song in an open mic? Right. No. Could you not switch to being an Uber driver and get Susan? Susan is going back on the road. What has to happen with Susan is this. Lower subframe, something underneath the car needs to be lowered, and the back brake pipes pulled out and new ones installed. She also needs complete new brakes all round, new suspension all round. The headlights taken out, and not the standard headlights, the next one up from standard. Then, she should go through her MOT. And 4 brand new tyres. Sorry, 5, because you got your spare in the boot. Now, the purpose of doing all of these, there's 16 people here right now, 16 people, is we've already talked about Newcastle United and last night. So we are now in the zone of apps. Now, the remit for Seeking You was this. There is something called Geordie Nuts. That is a smart contract. It's written in Solidity. Yeah. Pardon me. That can be found on waves.exchange. So that needs to be coming out so it can be bought and sold. That's important because it is the ecosystem for Seeking You, Streets of Home, and Geordie Nation. It's like microtransactions within. But with Seeking You, the remit was full stack. Now, these keywords of full stack, yeah, as you all know, well, the majority of you will know, yeah, that I was on HTML5 with CSS and other bits and pieces along the timeline. Hadn't got to them yet. So you have like JS, JavaScript, CSS, PHP. These are just things I can remember from the timeline, but they're all different components. And I hadn't even got to them yet because you, as subscribers, said, go down this route. So I did. I want things to be working, like many of you said about Seeking You, dating. That was never part of the equation. That was Bolt who mistook seeking as you wanted a partner. No, it's about meeting people. Now, where? So Darren is asking, so is Streets of Home a full retail priced game with microtransactions? In a nutshell, yeah. The microtransactions are upgrades. That's what they are. They are pram wheels, and then you can move the components of your buggy from old style pram wheels to classier style wheels, and you can even go as far as you want in carbon fiber. So yeah, you start one place and you just expand out. And same with the planks of wood, what your racer would be sitting on. Suspension. All bits and pieces which fall into upgrades. Right. Are you still using Bolt? It's still on the computer, yeah. You're building 10k wind turbines. No, Beer Vegan, Seeking You is not like Grinder. No. You're about a zillion miles in the wrong direction. And that's the honest thing. It's the remit for Seeking You was Facebook, TikTok, but with a difference. The difference, when you sign up, you're signing up and it's asking you, do you have a digital wallet? If you don't, one's available. 24 random words, write them down, and keep that as safe as a big, huge, full bar of gold. Yeah. Because you can do many things on Facebook, you can do many things on TikTok. But what you can't do is this. You can't have two forms of payment, i.e., straight into your bank or straight into your digital wallet. And with Seeking You and Geordie Nation, it was that you go live where an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. With TikTok, 70% of what people gift you goes to them. I wanted to turn it round. So it was the other way. So Seeking You will get 30%, you get 70%. Right, what we're going here. Integrating crypto may be complex. Well, no, because here's the point. Geordie notes is already on the Waves exchange. It needs a language which is solidity. That language unleashes it, and then it grows. That's the whole process of doing it, so it grows. Now, what we got? So your business model is to make less money than TikTok. Why would anybody invest in that? The amount of social media that has grown since Facebook, Instagram has exploded. And the base model is a new place to advertise. Advertise what you're doing and advertise other things. The only thing I wouldn't like to advertise is like serve online casinos. I don't agree with that. Right. Do you ever feel like you're... Yeah, it is, Darren. It is spreading yourself thin. It is, yeah. Which is why when I'm doing these videos, these lives like this one today, yeah, it's to pull people in. Explain what the goal is. And we all work towards that goal. You know, I mean, think about it this way, right? 3 apps. 3 apps which have potential. Yeah? Now, when those 3 apps are all live, so everybody can go in, explore, and build what they want, that's positive. Wouldn't you say? And if it's positive, laws of attraction say that it'll pull even more people into it. Geordie Nation, yeah? That to be in Newcastle. I'm not in Newcastle. That's the honest truth. I am in Rushcliffe. So that's something for somebody else to take a look at. Right, what we got here. Hi, 100% Marks. Right, so K00L. The apps have no potential. None, according to you. So explain. Come on, explain. You've got what? You've got 5 minutes to explain. Because you see, the thing is, right? Ideas moving forward, I think, will. And like I say, you're watching my live. So come on, you tell me. Do you plan bringing these websites to iOS and Android? Yeah, that's the honest answer. It cost TikTok billions to market itself and gain market share. Right, Beer Viking. Okay, let's just shine a light on China. Because China is where TikTok comes from. Now, I'm going to give you 2 examples here. Very good examples. 1, the United Kingdom, where we all live. 67 million people live in the UK. China. How many people currently live in China? 2 examples. There's over 1 billion people in China, which is where TikTok originates. ByteDance, which has dipped its toe into film making, parent company. So when you've got a massive audience of over 1 billion, you're going to grow. That's the end of the discussion. It is, you are using your people in China to get adoption, and then you grow from there. Right, what we got here? Huge gap in the market if TikTok gets banned. I can't see that happening. I can see the market's getting shook to bits by you know who doesn't care. I can see that, yeah. So what else have we got? Darren, Streets of Home will not be PC exclusive. No. It was going to be originally Xbox, Series X, PlayStation 5, because my brother plays on PlayStation, PC, mobile, and Steam Deck, or the large consoles where you can play a game. Right, what else? What else have we got? I was ecstatic to hear the crowd singing. Well, do you know the thing is, right? Dan Burn is a local hero. And, his beautiful header at Wembley is now in the history books. Now, one thing I would like you to do, we've been live 37 minutes. Let's smash them hearts, man. Come on. Let's raise things up. Because what I'm talking about in this video, which is going to be shared, have no doubt this is going to be shared, because I want people to see it. I want people to see the fact that Newcastle United won last night, and I want them to keep winning, but I also want them to know about the 3 apps, the languages the 3 apps are written in, which I haven't even come to yet on the Udemy course. Why? Because many of you turned around and said, oh, AI can do better. AI is not perfect. No, it's not. And that's what I was saying on Instagram the other day. AI it has its limitations, even though billions and billions of dollars are pumped into it. It's still not perfect. Right, what we got here? Well, yeah, okay. I'm playing a Geordie race and I want to upgrade my garage. Will I need to pay? What you can do with your garage in Streets of Home is this. You can race yourself. Or you can invite your mates and then you pay them for racing for you in your colours. So that way you can go from Newcastle to another area, Sunderland, Durham, Middlesbrough, etc., and race there. So the expansion. I've been asking many people who live in like so Blackpool, Liverpool, Cumbria, Scotland, because I want it all in there. So it's not just smack bang in Newcastle. That's where you start. Where you finish, hopefully, is high up on the leaderboard. So you get your monthly bonus and your yearly bonus. What you got to remember, though, is your health bar. Because if you cross the finish line and your health bar is not green, well, it's all been fun out. Right. You saying the apps will never be completed? I'm sorry to burst your bubble, mate. I really am sorry to burst your bubble. But they will be finished. You see, there's an old saying, right? And it's this. There are ways and means to get things done. There are plenty of places I have left messages for people to come in, and they are welcomed in. So your idea saying they will never happen, well, that's about as much use as a fart in a spacesuit. That's the honest answer. No, you won't be able to do that, be a Viking. No. You are racing on roads and streets. And what you are racing, you build yourself. Right. Hold on. What we got here? So, Carl Geordie, guess what? You know, your comment, right, is about as much use as a fart in a spacesuit. And that's the honest answer, because you are in my live. And we've been going 44 minutes talking. First of all, we were talking about Newcastle United's win last night, but we've moved forward. And somebody was talking about you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't do the other. Well, that's not actually true. It's just your interpretation of what's happening. Right. It should be. No. It was never designed as a bus driving game. So if you're thinking down that route, then happy days. But this Streets of Home has a simple concept: A to B. It just so happens it's downhill. Now, what we got here? Can I get a Lee Will? May he rest in peace. Well, do you know something? Right, 100% Marks. Want to be honest with you. Where a YouTube channel, what direction they go? Well, it started Newcastle United, but Newcastle United and Newcastle City Centre is more than football. There are things within the city that are more than football. So I've just broadened horizons, and with these apps are important. Why? Because I want them to be. What's this one? I feel like in 20 years there'll be it's possible. Anything's possible. You know, I mean, you never know what's around the corner. Oh, we got Mason in. I saw Mason on PD Proudlock the other day. Except I think he was reading comments. It is not possible. That's your thoughts. Right, what we got here? Do you not remember? Yeah, I do, Robin. I do. Yeah. Like I say, you know, I mean, people who wish to help, brilliant. Come on in. But we're always going to have doubters. Always. It's human life, you know. Somebody wants to rise above the parapet, which is YouTube. Yeah. And everybody's, oh, you can't do that, and you can't do this, and you can't do the other. Crazy and bonkers. But it is what it is. What's this one? You still got the doubt, Robin, the doubters did not get me down. No, they didn't. The reason why they didn't get me down is this. 2006, there was about 200 people who turned around and went, nah, he's never going to do that. He's not, it's just not going to happen. And when they saw the first of my morning duties leaving the depot, it kind of changed their minds. Do you know what I mean? And after several years of service, a few of them turn around and like says, "Oh, they were very annoyed because they'd been betting. They'd been betting I would fail and give up. Just don't do it." So yes, lots to come, including updates on GitHub, and the hope is all of the different channels I'm going down currently, there's a light at the end, and that light is the apps. Be a vegan. There are a lot of people here in the United Kingdom who don't understand. Yeah, there are. When Seeking You is live, when www.geordienation.co.uk is live, maybe people will start and take an interest and learn. Sometimes you have to do these things. I understand 100%, Marks. I understand. See, I don't live in Newcastle, but I still love home, which is why eventually, there will be a place not far from Newcastle Airport. I will move back home. Yeah. When can we get a story time? You won't, James. It's old news. Very old news. So you won't get that. It was an experience, and that's all it was. It was an experience. Was it? What if you see? Don't care. That's the honest answer. I don't care. I did originally. Yeah, I did. Going through the streets of Newcastle and turning the corner. Yeah, I did. But now, couldn't give a monkey's. Because people make their own choices. And that is very true. So, what I would like is this. 3 apps. It's 2025. It's April the 8th. April the 8th. Yeah. Help design your ideas of how to bring to life a demo of Westgate Hill straight into the city centre, Grey Street straight down to the quayside, or go for the big one, Leamington Bank to the bottom road. Game demo. And I want different weather, day and night. That's what I'm looking at. Will there be traffic on the road? Of course. If it's a road, it's a street. If it's in the daytime, yeah, there's going to be stuff there. This is the part of the challenge. You know, you're not going to be racing down a road, Grey Street, crossing Mosley Street, down Dean Street, going round the corner onto the quayside without something, whether it's a pothole, a bump in the road. I want it all in there. So it's going to test you. And the biggest test is health bar. Because the health bar, if it's green, you win. If it's not, you've just done all that for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Will you approach a business to use their brands in the game? No, what I'm going to be doing is Geordie Nation is going to mention it to said businesses. And if they have a .com or a .co.uk, and if they do, then have that as it you're whizzing down, have it like on screen so that people can see it as it's going whizzing past them. There's so many elements to Streets of Home. Truly, it's not just about microtransactions. That's just part of it. The other part is you and your skill. Point A through to the finish line. How you get there. Choose the right materials. Then upgrade. And adding bits you want, which are already preloaded into the ecosystem. You know, bits to streamline your buggy so you can cut through the wind. Suspension, comfy seat, health belts, even a bloody steering wheel, and wing mirrors so you can see what's behind you. It's all part of the system. I haven't done any market research, no. That is the truth. However, when you're trying to do something like this, it's where does that fit in to what you're trying to achieve? You see, I thought of like the idea and the building blocks and more. Right, what we got here? Oh, that's very nice, Robin. Very nice. Good question. Good question, Benny. Well, that has to be done as well, i.e., a law firm within the United Kingdom. Yes. So I've asked. I've asked. What was it? 2024, and yeah, that's still on the cards. This live turned out fun. Okay. Will there be game purchases for? No. No. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Spread the word. That's it. Spread the word. And who is needed? Developers. People who not only understand code. There's different languages in code. People who understand game dynamics, weather changing right in real time. And have you got the right stuff on to get to the bottom? So there's multiple different bits and pieces, which means real people. And that's the whole purpose of doing this, bringing real people together. Python was in my course, Web Development 3. Python was in the course. However, I was still in HTML5 and I knew CSS was coming. So yes, sounds like you need a lot of people. Well, yes, that's the exact purpose. It was never, ever just me. Never. You see, it's about being smart. Thank you. Thank you, 100% Max. Warwick Hunt. Hi, Paul. Have you ever thought of a crazy plan to avoid work after this game doesn't happen? Well, do you know something, right? He has a thing for you, yeah? When I was doing the web development, yeah, people were saying to us, oh, it's so basic what you do, and why not try this? So I listened and thought, okay, let's try that. Let's ask a question. Now, sometimes when you ask a question, you get like a glazed look. Like, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about, as an example. Now, when I tried that with artificial intelligence, there were some who turned around and went, very ambitious. There were others who turned around and went, wow, that is brilliant. And it started to do all of this on this side of the screen, which is right side of the screen. You're seeing on the left. And that was where it began. Where it ends is 3 apps going live so everybody can go in, explore on the game. You can race to your heart's content, build your money up, buy new parts, hire people to race for you, customize to your heart's content, and go from the northeast of England right down to the bottom of United Kingdom and claim the national. It's up to you. This is where the crux of the game is. It's starting one area, but doesn't finish there. It just goes all over to keep people thinking of like, what's the roads like in Manchester, or is there any places in Liverpool? Just to name two. And to be able to raise people in those places, whether it be daytime or nighttime. So yes. Nope, I can't. Because the stuff which I have has set colours. Hoodies, jumpers, t-shirts, jogging pants, jackets, etc. Baseball caps, beanies is what I have. DayZ. Like to play DayZ on a computer. This laptop will not play DayZ, even though it's Ryzen 5 and Radeon graphics. Won't play it. Not enough under the bonnet. Is there a date in which you will sign off benefits? Well, as I said to Universal Credit, I do a detailed box when I'm typing to them. And they're going to help me to get this 3 apps up and running. Brilliant. Still got to be fixed by our wonderful NHS. So, because I now have a new attachment, and that takes me longer to get from A to B. That's the honest truth. Joanne Thompson. Not really. Anyway, I have been live for 1 hour and 8 minutes. I will come back and do another live. And in the meantime, spread the word. Simple as that. If you know somebody who can assist in what I'm trying to do, brilliant. Let's work together. Oh, John Sinclair. Non-league with good hospitality. In the city centre, there is Notts County, and on the other side of the Trent is Nottingham Forest. Other than that, couldn't tell you. That's the honest answer. So, walking stick That's downstairs, next to the front door, where it has to be, because I have 2 rails on the stairs. So, anyway, thank you all for being here, and see you all on the next live on YouTube. And before I leave you, I want to make sure you know one thing. Currently, 1,160 subscribers. So, spread the word. Let's bring in some more subscribers. Let's grow. Because I can honestly say this much just before I go. If I prove 3 apps live, how many subscribers is that worth? How many? I believe it's worth a big number. So, thanks for being here. Well, like I say, the weird deal. Different ball game. And I moved away from that different ball game some time ago. It's in my past. So, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all in the next.